Righto guys, g'day. Welcome back to the channel. Today, well, I'm sort of stealing some time away for myself. Apart from the fact I've got a Harley-Davidson instead of my normal ride, I just needed to get away. Needed to fill my cup, as they say. So I've got this Harley-Davidson Sport Glide for an extended test ride, thanks to Harley Australia. So look for the full review on that coming sometime soon. But today I'm, just out enjoying myself. I'm near Matamata, which is the home of Hobbiton. It is that way somewhere. And just rolling along, enjoying the Sport Glide. It's not my first ride on a Harley Sport Glide, but hopefully it won't be a last. I really enjoy this bike. So it's kind of fallen awkwardly, this test ride. I've got the bike for a couple of weeks, but it's sort of fallen in a period of the year where sort of the wife's really busy with work. The kids are getting more activities that need looking after, and they're at that age where they're becoming a wee bit frustrating to work with. Me being a stay-at-home dad primarily. So finding any time to do anything motorcycle related's been a bit tricky. So I managed to squeeze out 2 hours for today. It's a lovely Sunday. Weather's actually really starting to turn it on. It was pouring with rain yesterday, which scuppered any hopes I had of going out for a ride or an overnighter. My initial plans actually when I picked this bike up were to chuck my swag on the back and head for the hills and go moto camping, because it's got these nice big panniers in the back where I could fit I could fill one up with beer and food and snacks, and the other with my camp cooker and a book, and go and relax somewhere. But weather situation meant it was not quite to be. Anyway, so I got 2 hours to just amble about. So I thought I'd do the Tamiro Matamata loop, and then head on home via Lake Karapiro. No trains to squish me, that's good. So just nice bit of cup filling. The Sport Glide itself, 29.5 grand this thing's worth. Comes in, I think it's 5 colourways. This is one of the blacks, because Harley love to do black bikes. Personally, I prefer the white colour scheme. I have no idea what it's called right now, but I'll try and pop it up on the screen. On Skeen. Try not to crash into this Honda Accord, or get crashed into by said Honda Accord. Alright. So Sport Glide, I'm calling it the Indecisive man's Harley. Because it's an amalgamation of quite a lot of good Harley things. If you're looking for a traditional classic Harley that can do a bit of everything, this could be your bike. So the highlights, just off the top of my head: removable fairing. It's just a couple of little straps onto the forks that hold that on, and removable hard panniers, which have a decent capacity to them. They look to be about 20-25 litres per side. So all in all, it's a great bike. In terms of value, I'm not 100% sure where it sits now, because since this first came out, Harley brought out the Softail Standard, which is basically same frame, Softail frame, same engine, Milwaukee 8107, and that's about 23 grand off the top of my head. So it's a basic bike, but it's a really nice platform to start on. This, you also get cruise control. I keep forgetting it's there because I'm not used to bikes with cruise control. And it's got the nice big sort of tank mounted dashboard here, which for me, I like to have my dash nice and easy so I don't have to move my head to look at it, but I gotta say, I do love this. It's nice and symmetrical, it looks cool. You've got your digital insert there, which you can cycle through, so you can get your RPM. It's got a fuel gauge, which actually tells you how much of a tank you've got in terms of quarters, which is quite interesting. Odometers, of course. Ooh, cool defender. And trip meters. It's also got a range to empty, which is very nice. So, yeah, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan of this bike. I think it's quite a nice member of the Harley family, particularly if, like me, you can't decide on one model. So, I've ridden most of the Softail range now, and quite a few of the touring bikes as well. I was lucky enough when they launched the Milwaukee 8 with the touring models to go on the international launch for that. So yeah, there's quite a few Harleys that I quite like, but then yeah, what one do you choose? And that's where this bike comes in. I think this is the one you get if you can't choose. So removable fairing, removable panniers. You can just sort of tailor it to how you're feeling on the day. Hard to go past the sound of a big V twin. LED daymaker headlights, of course. The wing mirrors are actually pretty good. You can see through them. They're a little bit buzzy, but I'm what, 4th gear right now. If I chuck it up into 6th, they get much more clearer. Let's chuck on. Just like that. Cruise control. In terms of the protection the fairing gives you, it's not a hell of a lot, to be honest. I think the fairing's definitely there more for the look side of things. Though from memory you can get a bigger screen, which would be quite cool, I reckon. Because yeah, I'm just getting a lot of wind buffeting off this screen. It'll be interesting. I'm hoping to get a little bit more time out and hopefully more weather like this, to get out on this bike and ride it without the fairings, without the bags on it, and just see how how much different it is. Being a Softail, really easy to up your preload. Got a turn wheel just underneath the seat here, well, under the seat to get the right of your thigh. So it's quite nice, easy to adjust. I definitely found, depending on what model you're riding, but these bikes really do respond well to cranking the preload up. It sharpens them up a heck of a lot, particularly the bikes with the wider rear tyres. So this bike, it sort of falls into the middle in terms of rear tyre size. I'll whack a little title up with the actual sizing. So the bike, it still feels like a big hefty thing. It's not as nimble as the narrower tyred bikes, but it's definitely not as big a handful as, say, the Fat Boy is. Styling, I think the styling is great. As I said before, I think it looks better in white than black, but press bikes tend to be black because they're that, I don't know, that image that Harley wants to portray, I guess. If I owned this bike, what would I change? I'd get rid of this damn chrome. I don't know if you're getting that on the DJI there, but I am just getting the sun reflected into my eyes, something chronic right now. Here we go, this is the direction for Hobbiton. In terms of what would I change, well, what have I noticed on this test ride? Definitely there's a decent amount of heat coming off the exhaust, and it could be off that rear cylinder bank as well. Now I'm going directly into the wind, it's not so bad, but when I was up in the hills earlier I could really feel the heat coming off the motor and that exhaust. It's a big 1700 plus cc bike, so rolling on the throttle nice and easy. Has been a little bit thirsty, but I've not exactly been riding for fuel economy. I've just been out trying to just switch off for a bit, taking deep breaths and enjoy the lovely green countryside before we hit full summer and everything goes brown. Yeah, well, those are my initial thoughts anyway. Oh, that's another thing. I'm what, 5'10", 176-ish centimeters tall, and I feel like the foot pegs are just that little bit too far ahead of me. Like if they were 1 inch back, I think they would be fitting me perfectly, those foot controls. But they're not a hard reach or anything, and changing gears is not a nightmare. But yeah, if I was to ride this down to, say, the Burton Road Challenge, which has been cancelled for next year, which is a damn shame. But yeah, if I was going to ride this sort of the length of the country, yeah, some slightly closer foot pegs would be nicer, which I'm sure there's an option for. Seats comfy as. And it accelerates like a champ. So there we have it. First look at this. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my ride. Enjoy the scenery, the countryside. Hopefully fill my cup up before I have to go back to the madness that is a home with a 3-year-old and a nearly 2-year-old. So look out for the review of this bike, and I'll catch you on the next one.